The cameras were rolling. The mics were hot. And what was supposed to be a simple sisterly getaway turned into a legal ambush. That may have just blown up the Braxton empire from the inside out. Because when Tamar Braxton walked into that room, she didn't come with hugs. She didn't come with tears. She came with paperwork, and not just any paperwork, cease and desist 3. Words that hit harder than any insult ever could, according to insiders on the set of the Braxtons. The tension had already been simmering for weeks over contracts, control, and who really owns the family brand. But nobody, and I mean nobody, expected Tamar to slam legal documents on the table and accuse her own sisters of trying to shut down her business. "I got disinvited after I got my ticket," she snapped. The room froze. "Who told you that?"
Me!
Tamar wasn't backing down. "Y'all sent cease and desist letters to destroy me. Destroy her." That's when the whispers turned into war. One sister denied knowing anything. Another swore she hadn't used the family attorney in years. And Tamar. She alleged someone gave out her private address. A breach. A betrayal. A move that felt less like sisterhood and more like strategy. Now leaked messages, secret recordings. And contract clauses are surfacing, and fans are demanding answers. Because if blood is thicker than water, why does this feel like a courtroom when Tamar Braxton sat down at that table? The air shifted so violently you could almost hear it crack. The tension wasn't subtle. It was suffocating. The kind of silence that only exists right before something detonates. And Tamar wasn't there to play nice for the cameras. She wasn't there to laugh through tension or smooth it over with a joke. She was there for answers. "I got disinvited after I got my ticket," she said. Eyes locked on her sisters. Immediately, the confusion began. "Who told you that?" One sister shot back. The tone wasn't gentle. It wasn't supportive. It was defensive. And that single shift changed everything. Because what Tamar revealed next turned a vacation misunderstanding into a full-blown legal scandal. "We were told you didn't want to film with us," someone countered. That's when Tamar's face hardened. "You already know why I didn't want to film with y'all," she said. "Because y'all sent a cease and desist to try to destroy my business." The word cease hung in the air like smoke after a gunshot. For a second, nobody moved. Then came the chaos. "Wait, hold on. Who's y'all?" Another echoed, voices rising in pitch. Tamar didn't blink. The family attorney sent it. The room erupted. Multiple insiders claimed this was the exact moment producers realized they had more than reality. TV drama on their hands. They had a legal landmine. Because according to Tamar, a formal letter was sent to her promoters warning them against using the Braxton name in connection with her independent appearances. The implication: she was violating brand rights against her own family name. One sister immediately denied any knowledge. "I haven't used him as my attorney in years," she insisted, referring to the longtime family lawyer. Another looked visibly shaken, whispering, "I knew nothing about this." But Tamar wasn't buying it. "Am I the only one who thinks a cease and desist is a big deal?" she asked, voice trembling but fierce. That is the catalyst of why we haven't been able to get along. Catalyst. That wasn't a random word. It was intentional. Because Tamar was making it clear this wasn't about Tulum. It wasn't about filming schedules. It wasn't about petty sister shade. This was about sabotage, according to a source close to production. Tamar had allegedly confronted network executives weeks earlier about what she called coordinated interference in her business dealings. She claimed venues had suddenly begun canceling appearances after receiving legal warnings. Coincidence? She didn't think so. And here's where it gets darker. A leaked email that surfaced in a private fan forum allegedly shows communication between a representative of the family's legal team and a third-party promoter. The email reportedly references unauthorized usage of the Braxton brand in solo ventures. Solo ventures. The phrase alone suggests division. Tamar, who has spent years building her own identity outside the family. LLEGEDLY felt this was a calculated attempt to box her back into the group dynamic on their terms. "You tried to shut down my entire business," she said, slamming the table lightly with the papers. "I am a promoter. I am also a singer. Sending that shuts me down." And then came the accusation that sent chills through everyone in the room. Somebody gave him my address. That's when the tone shifted from defensive to stunned. "A breach," Tamar continued. "A complete breach." No one immediately responded because if true, that meant someone close to her, someone with access, handed over private information to enforce a legal threat. "Y'all tried to shut me down," she repeated. But instead of apology, she got pushback. "We didn't know," one sister insisted. "We're not going to convict someone for a crime they didn't." Convict.crime.the. Language had officially escalated from family argument to courtroom warfare. And while the sisters debated semantics, social media was already in flames. A short clip of Tamar saying cease and desist hit Twitter within minutes of taping, and fans immediately began dissecting it frame by frame. Some defended her, calling the move corporate bullying. Others accused her of playing victim. Then a screenshot leaked, allegedly from a private group chat between members of the extended production team. In it, one message reads, "She always goes rogue." This was to protect the show. Protect the show from who? Tamar. That narrative that Tamar's independence was a threat only fueled the fire, because, according to insiders, contract negotiations for the new season of the Braxtons had been tense from the beginning. Tamar reportedly pushed for executive producer credit and more creative input. She wanted control over how her story was edited. She wanted veto power over certain narratives, and not everyone agreed, one anonymous source claims. A heated off-camera argument weeks earlier ended with someone saying, "This is not the Tamar show." When the cease and desist surfaced, Tamar allegedly saw it as retaliation. Strategic, targeted, punitive, back at the table. Voices continued to rise. "So you're saying Tony did this?" One sister demanded. "I never said Tony," Tamar fired back. "But the attorney is connected." That subtle distinction didn't calm anyone. Tony's name hovering over the conversation was enough to spark panic, because accusing the most commercially established sister of legal intimidation would fracture the family permanently. "I want to talk about the letter," Tamar insisted. "All this other stuff is null and void." Her fixation on the document made it clear this wasn't emotional exaggeration. She believed there was proof, and according to a crew member who later spoke anonymously, Tamar had additional documentation she didn't even show on camera. Allegedly, she had correspondence from two promoters confirming they were advised to reconsider association. Advised by who? The family attorney. As the confrontation spiraled, one sister reportedly stood up and shouted, "We didn't know." But Tamar's response cut deeper than a scream. "Then why didn't anybody defend me?" That question landed like a bomb, because even if they didn't authorize it, they didn't stop it either. And in Tamar's world, silence equals complicity. Producers eventually called for a brief pause in filming as emotions boiled over. According to multiple insiders, Tamar stepped away, visibly shaking, clutching the paperwork like armor. In a hallway conversation caught partially on a hot mic, she allegedly said, "They wanted me desperate." Desperate. The implication being that if her independent income dried up, she'd have no choice but to accept whatever contract terms were offered for the show. That theory gained traction online almost instantly. Fans began digging into public records, contract filings, past interviews, a viral TikTok breakdown suggested the cease and desist might align suspiciously with the timeline of final contract negotiations. Coincidence? Or leverage? When filming resumed, the energy had shifted again. Less shouting, more cold calculation. One sister leaned forward and asked quietly, "What do you want?" And Tamar's answer was simple: the truth. But the truth, it seemed, was about to get even messier. Because just as the conversation appeared to be cooling down, a producer reportedly received a notification on their phone. Another leak had just dropped online, and this one, allegedly, contained a voice recording that could prove someone in that room knew more than they were, admitting the moment that news reached the table, every face changed. Because if that recording was real, someone's denial was about to collapse. And Tamar, she smiled for the first time all night. The tension that had simmered in that Tulum villa was about to boil over again. Just when it seemed the cease and desist showdown had reached its peak, an anonymous leak surfaced, a recording allegedly capturing a private phone conversation between Tamar and a woman tied to the family's legal circle. In the grainy audio, a voice said it was to protect the brand. Tamar's reply, "Protect the brand from me." The words echoed like a challenge in an empty courtroom, and according to insiders, the room went silent for nearly a full minute when producers played it back for the sisters off-dash camera. Because if Tamar was considered a threat to the brand, the implications were seismic. It wasn't just her business at risk. It was the perception of control, loyalty, and hierarchy within the family. Sources claim Tamar's sisters tried to argue that the cease and desist was routine legal housekeeping. But the raw emotion in Tamar's voice cut through the corporate excuse. Routine? This was a weapon. She allegedly shouted, her voice carrying down the hallway where crew members whispered in shock. And then came the social media fallout. Clips of Tamar's confrontation went viral almost immediately. Fans flooded Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok with dissected angles of the moment. Hashtags like #Braxton betrayal and #cease and desist chaos trending within hours. One viral TikTok even slowed down her hands slamming the papers, highlighting the fury that so many viewers said they could feel through the screen. The online chatter was brutal. Some fans defended her as a victim of a calculated move. Others accused her of blowing things out of proportion. And many speculated which sister had orchestrated the leak. The alleged private chat leaks intensified the chaos. Screenshots purportedly showed backstage messages from some sisters, expressing frustration over Tamar's solo ambitions and a concern that her outside projects threaten the narrative of the show. One message read, "She's always trying to be the star. How do we stop this?" A line that, when combined with the leaked audio, made it seem like Tamar wasn't just being targeted legally, but strategically marginalized. And just when it seemed things couldn't get more volatile, insiders claim an explosive off-camera confrontation erupted the next day. Tamar reportedly confronted her sisters with evidence she had collected: emails, text messages, and receipts showing that promoters had indeed been warned to stay away from her events. "I have proof that this wasn't an accident," she allegedly declared, voice trembling with anger and fear. "And nobody stood up for me." The room reportedly went cold. One sister, visibly shaken, allegedly whispered, "We didn't authorize it," while another refused to meet Tamar's eyes. But the cracks were evident. According to crew sources, the cameras captured every subtle facial expression, side glance, and defensive posture. The energy wasn't just tense, it was electric. Then came the betrayal everyone had feared. Tamar reportedly revealed that she had discovered her private address had been passed along to enforce the cease and desist. "Someone in this room gave them my information," she claimed, pointing around the table. And the accusation was so direct, it reportedly left her sisters frozen. Allegedly, one sister attempted to deflect, saying, "We didn't know." But Tamar's response was sharp, cutting, and final. "Then why didn't anyone defend me? Why did silence become consent?" Fans online immediately began speculating which sister had crossed that line. Comments exploded with theories, screenshots, and timeline reconstructions. Some suggested this was a long-standing power struggle. Others argued it was a personal vendetta, disguised as legal enforcement. Every angle seemed more shocking than the last dot. Then came the leaked contract clause. According to sources who obtained an alleged insider copy, the clause stipulated that cast members couldn't independently promote events using the Braxton brand without explicit approval from executive producers. Tamar's interpretation: They wanted me dependent, she allegedly told a friend in a voice memo. If I can't promote on my own, I have to play by their rules. Desperate, controlled, silenced. The alleged leaked clause also mentioned financial penalties, escalating her sense of betrayal. And according to insiders, this discovery sparked another round of explosive back and forth, where accusations flew over percentages, brand rights, and who controlled what storylines. Crew members reportedly feared someone might walk off set entirely, and multiple cameras were on standby to capture any incident at one point. The confrontation escalated into tears and near shouting matches. Tamar allegedly locked herself in a dressing room for an hour, sobbing, clutching the legal documents like lifelines. But when she emerged, she wasn't broken. She was resolute. "I want the truth," she reportedly said. "All this other nonsense, invites, filming excuses, side comments, it's irrelevant. What matters is the letter." And just when it seemed the confrontation had ended, a new leak reportedly surfaced on a private fan forum, an audio recording of an alleged behind-the-scenes discussion where one sister said, "We need to make her think it's just about the show, but it's about control." The audio, if authentic, confirmed what Tamar had suspected all along, that the cease and desist wasn't an isolated action, but part of a larger strategy to limit her influence, her visibility, and her independence. Network executives, according to insiders, were reportedly panicked. Ratings are one thing, lawsuits are another. And if Tamar decided to take legal action against the family or the network for business interference, the repercussions could derail the entire reboot. Sources claim emergency meetings were held, damage control was initiated, and legal counsel was brought in, all captured in a tense, behind-the-scenes environment that fans are now desperate to see leaked. And the sisters, they were divided. One reportedly begged for mediation. Another refused to apologize without hard proof. And Tony, the name that had become the flashpoint, was said to be caught in the middle, struggling to defend herself while navigating the growing chaos by the end of filming. According to multiple insider reports, Tamar had one final message for the cameras. "Don't mess with me. Don't mess with Tony. But don't ever think you can silence me." Her words weren't just dramatic. They were a warning. Because what came next, according to insiders, wasn't just about letters, leaks, or social media chaos. It was about uncovering hidden revenue, secret contracts, and a power structure that may have been manipulating the family for years. And if the next revelations are true, it won't just shake the show. It could shatter the Braxton family completely. The empire is crumbling. The secrets are spilling. And Tamar is standing in the middle, papers in hand, ready to expose everything. What happens next could rewrite the history of the Braxtons, and fans aren't ready for the fallout. You've just witnessed a glimpse behind the curtain. The whispers, the leaks, the betrayals, but this story is far from over. Every secret message, every explosive recording, every contract twist we revealed here is just the tip of the iceberg. And trust me, the next wave of revelations could change everything you thought you knew about the Braxtons. If you don't hit that like button right now, you're letting these secrets slip past you. Comment your theories. Who really sent the cease and desist? Who's protecting the brand and who's betraying blood? Fans all over the world are debating it, dissecting every leaked clip. And you need to be part of the conversation before it disappears. And don't even think about watching the next leak without being subscribed, because when the next recordings drop, the next bombshells hit, you want to be the first to see it. Turn on notifications so you're never left in the dark while the family empire explodes. Every frame, every whisper, every secret, it's all unfolding. And you can't afford to miss a second. This isn't just celebrity gossip. This is family drama turned legal warfare. Your next move matters. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay locked in, because the story of the Braxtons is just getting started. And once it breaks again, there's no going back. It breaks again, there's no going back.